Hi my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sophie. I have a doctorate in literature, which means I get way too emotionally invested in the shows that we're watching. Today, we're reacting to episode 10 of Chainsaw Man, and then we only have 2 episodes left and then a movie, which I'm very excited for. But it's been an absolute roller coaster. I can't even fathom all the stuff that has happened in such a short series. It's kind of insane. I mean, we now have Mikima in charge of like all the special divisions, which is what I think she wanted all along. I think she knew what the Gun Devil was planning, or she had like prior knowledge. Maybe like intel had been sent to her that these groups were gathering or that guns were being moved. She clearly had some knowledge that something was happening, but instead of actually doing anything about it, she's allowed it to happen because it grants her this power and control that she didn't have before. So she can continue to manipulate and move people where she wants them to be. At least it's not grooming a minor, but she's still doing that too. It's just another side of her power dynamics. We have lost pretty much the majority of the group now. I think there's only Aki, Kobani, Denji, and Power. That's it. Hinako is gone. All the others have been shot. Yeah, it's kind of a really sad and shit situation, but it's also very realistic because we've been told time and time again that devil hunters don't live long lives and that their lives end suddenly and tragically. And we've seen that play out. And yet we're still shocked. I mean, that's the beauty of the show, is that it is warning us, it's giving us a heads up, like, hey, the jobs that they're doing are dangerous and, you know, you should expect them to die. But we're kind of baited into thinking it is just talk because there is sort of no build up to the violence. It just happens. But again, that is an excellent display of the world in which they live within, that this job, they can't predict the level of violence that's going to head their way. It is that sudden, and deaths do happen in the blink of an eye. And it's such a good way of bringing those words into visual reality because, again, we've sort of been lulled into a false sense of security. Everything's been relatively easygoing. I mean, Denji has kind of successfully beaten every foe he's come across, and now we have a foe that Denji couldn't beat. We have Hinako dying to save Aki. We had the Gun Devil orchestrating the mass execution of public devil hunters, so taking out anyone that potentially stands in his way to get Denji's heart. So all in all, we should have kind of seen it coming, but we didn't. And I think that's what makes it all the more impactful, is that we're aware, but there was no predicting we were going to see that level of intense violence. But also this new figure that is similar to Denji, but swords or katanas. Are they katanas? I think they looked kind of like katanas. And this is the first time that Denji really has struggled to beat someone, which I'm wondering how Denji is going to take that. That he can't just rely on being a little crazy. Of course, you have to have a screw loose. But up until this point, he has really just kind of been relying on being unpredictable. Whereas now that didn't work. So what next? Where does he go from here? And I think that's sort of a question that Denji might wrestle with. Or Denji might not care because it's Denji. Denji sometimes just kind of shrugs things off. But I don't know, if that was me, I'd be having a bit of a crisis of confidence. But this kind of sometimes goes against the traditional trajectory that I think a character would take, in terms of Denji is just wild and there's no sure way of knowing how Denji's gonna react to a situation, because again, it is the whole part of him just being a little insane. But that's okay because it's Denji and we love Denji. We're gonna hopefully see how Aki is recovering and where Power went, because you know what? Power was smart. She got out of there. She knew no one was winning in that situation. And she saved herself because she has to take care of Miyawi. So you know what, girl? I get it. But either way, I am curious as to where she went. So we're going to get into it.
練馬駅前の練馬西大ビルで公安のデビルハンターによる大規模な戦闘が行われました。
Power's there. You're just gonna eat his apples? You're not gonna give him one? He peeled one for you, Denji. Oh my god, they're just like toddlers, aren't they?
逃げたんじゃない。お腹が空いたから帰っただけじゃ。
嘘つけ
Whatever you say, Power.
嘘つきは罠じゃ。
なろ
Has Aki not been through enough?
あ
4か誰が生き残ってる？
小紅ってチビとメガネの男も生き残ったみたいだけど公安やめたんだと
Really, there's only 4
俺
of
とパ
them.
ーコはマキマさんに呼ばれてるから帰るぜ
見舞いの果物を食いに来ただけじゃ。
I'm sorry. Power's such a mood. Leave
リン
him.
ゴ1個だけ残しといてやるよ
One apple. Denji, he's lost his partner that he's had for so many years. He's feeling demoralized and sad. The least you could have done is actually cut his apple up for him.
カス、俺はあと何年生きれる？
He halved his life to use his sword, didn't he? That is the price. 2 years. I remember there was a price that had to be paid. I just couldn't remember if it was sacrificing part of his lifespan. Oh, Aki, 2 years. He's gonna cry for her. How could he not? Oh, Aki.
忘れた漫画取りに戻ったら泣いてんだけど
Denji!
まあそりゃ泣くよな大勢仕事仲間が死んだらしいしバディの姫野も死んだわけだしなあれポチタが死んだ時は悲しかったな
You're still learning to have emotions for other people.
初めて友達になろうっつってくれた人なのに俺ひどくね
No, I think you've just seen a lot and been through a lot. You've seen a lot of death in your very short
あいつ
life.
が死んだら
He's kind of desensitized to it. What if it was Makima? You'd probably
マキ
cry.
マさんが死んだら多分俺はしばらくへこむけど3日後には楽しく毎日を過ごせ
After
てると思う
3 days. Love that there's a time limit on it. 3 days. 3 days, man.
心臓だけじゃなく人の心までなくなっちまったのか楽しくねえこと考えても楽しくねえだけだからなさっさとマキマさんに会いに行こう
憂鬱じゃ。
He's trying to sort of deflect how he feels. Denji makes me laugh because he has these really, really deep moments where like he's questioning why he doesn't feel the same way other people feel. And it's like he gets so close to the point that it's because he's only really just learning how to build these connections and to let himself care about others. Because he's been so closed off from society. He's seen so much death and destruction that he kind of has never really allowed himself to get attached to anyone. The only one he could be attached to was Pochta. But that's why he was sad when Pochta sacrificed himself for Denji, because it was all he had. But they had an emotional bond that he hasn't shared or experienced with anyone else, an intensity that not even Makima can ever have with Denji, because as Denji said, 3 days, I'd be over it, which is wild. Either way, he's so close to dissecting why he thinks the way he does and why he feels the way he feels and sort of addressing the trauma that he's gone through, but then immediately does the typical teenage boy thing of, that's so sad, so I'm not going to focus on it, and it's going to be a buzzkill, so we're going to do anything but that. It's just so funny because it's just what I expect from a teenage boy. It's what I expect from Denji, but I just love those little moments of deep philosophical thoughts being intersected with just typical Denji humor.
どうも。あれ、泣いてた。
But why would you ask that? Stop it. Leave him be.
私たちマキマさんに頼まれて京都から得意4科を指導に来ました。
そのリンゴ食べていいですか？
Are you gonna eat that apple after Denji took all the other apples? Yeah, he is gonna eat that apple.
ホテル事件と今回のでデンジ君が敵勢力に狙われていることが分かった。
マキマさんが指導してくれるんですか？
残念だけど私は忙しくなっちゃうから適任を紹介するね。
She's not human.
君たちを指導するのは彼だよ。
Because how the fuck does she survive that train? They're gonna have to reveal that she is more than meets the eye at some point.
彼の名前は
黙れ。
Is this the guy that spoke with Himeno quite a few times at the grave?
別に。
死んだと思った。
敵に復讐したいか。
復讐とか暗くて嫌いだね。
わしも。
お前たちは人と悪魔どっちの味方だ。
Whichever side pays them.
俺を面倒見てくれる方。
勝ってる方。
It is. Because he asked that question to Himeno
お
about
前たち。
how
100
she'd
点だ。
feel about her partner's
お
dying.
前たちみたいのはめったにいない。素晴らしい。大好きだ。
Because he admitted that he can't let go of caring about his partners and the people around him, which makes him weak.
俺は得意一家で
So he
デビューハンターをや
admires
ってる
these two because they're so
先生
different.
と呼ばれると気持ちよくなれるから先生と呼んでくれ。
So they're not weak in the sense that they feel emotions, but because this job is so dangerous that you're mourning someone all the time, you're constantly carrying that grief and that pain, but that can also leave you susceptible to not being aware of your situation, in that you could be too emotionally wrapped up in what's happened to concentrate on the battle ahead of you. You may have intense desire to seek revenge, which again is a brash emotion that could lead you to not thinking about what you're doing and again leave you open to being targeted. Himeno couldn't stop caring about her partners, and Aki couldn't stop caring about the rookies that died under him, but also has now cried for Himeno because they have those connections with them. And it's not a negative thing, but Denji and Power are so unique in that they just genuinely are removed from human emotions because, again, Power is a fiend. She doesn't really understand them. And Denji has just been thoroughly traumatized and societally removed from humanity in general. So they are a unique breed of people, which is why he's like, oh my God, finally, because what he's going to teach them is going to sink in. It's not just going to be ignored when somebody dies, or at least as far as we're aware.
好きなのは酒と女と悪魔を殺すことだ。
Denji can relate. Ah! Damn, he's strong.
お前たちの筋肉と骨の仕組みは俺たちと同じだ。人間様と違うのは血を飲めば復活するとこだな。
何しやがる、てめえ。
お前の心臓がなぜか知らんが10の悪魔に狙われている。なのにお前が簡単にやられる雑魚だから困ってんだろうな。
なんでさっきわしらを締めた？
Prove a point.
アルコールにやられた脳でついにひらめいた。俺は最強のデビルハンターだ。最強の俺を倒せる悪魔は最強なわけだから。
So he's gonna make them the
お前たち
strongest.
が俺を倒せるようになるまで、俺はお前たちを狩り続ける。
こいつ頭が終わっておる。
もう
This is wild.
じゃあ再開だ。
I think quite logical in some way.
デンジ、
Like a cat and mouse game. Because they can't die like a human can. So he's like, with a bit of blood, you're right as rain. So he can go all out. But he just has to be careful not to kill them. But it's making them aware of their limitations, so then they start to learn what he's aiming for, what he's going for.
男の方は不死身、魔人の方は半分不死身。俺はガキの頃から力が強くておもちゃをすぐ壊しちまう。だから壊れないおもちゃが欲しかったんだ。
Now he has toys that can take a beating. I think there's some method to the madness, but again, to be a devil hunter and to be a strong devil hunter like him,
コン、
you've got to be a little bit of a screw loose, right? The fox devil's not coming.
出てけえへんやろ。君は狐を無茶に使って嫌われた。その刀も呪いの悪魔のやつやろ。それもあとどれくらい使えんの。
指導ってのはそういうことか。
I imagine he can only use it one more time if he has got 2 years left.
不謹慎やけど、今回の
I
事件
imagine
で
the
やるべ
next
きやと
time he
思いました
uses
け
it,
ど
it'd be the last time.
実際、君の科の人が一人民間に行ったし、やめへんなら、もっと強い悪魔と契約して、得意化に貢献してもらわなあかんみたいです。
How much more do you want him to give? I mean, he's only got 2 years.
バディを殺したやつも。
Yeah, he's only got 2 years in which to find it and help kill it.
なのになんでやめれるんですか。
キョートン先輩の言葉はほんまでしたわ。得意化にはまともなやつはいいひんから気をつけろ。ってね。
He's heard that before. Himeno said the same thing.
女性のお客さん来てますよ。
Or a relative of Himeno? I don't know. God, they really had the shit kicked out of them. Oh, Lord. All for a purpose, Denji.
また頭が故障してる。
That's not gonna help it. Gonna make his brain worse. Actually, I think she fixed it.
俺は
Guess hit it until it
今日何回
fixes.
殺された。
20回以上じゃ
I thought he was maybe having a tantrum.
こんな生活続いたらマジで楽しくねえぞ。楽しくなるために頑張ってきたのに。
You know what's gonna suck the fun out of life, Denji? If the gun devil gets your heart. So,
俺たちをおもちゃ扱いしやがってよ。だんだんマジでムカついてきたぜ。
わかった。
何が？
あいつを
Ambush him?
倒す方法じゃ。わしらは頭を使って戦えばいいんじゃ。
俺も最近めちゃくちゃ憧れてたぜ。漫画とかの頭いいキャラみてえに戦えたらいいなってよ。
頭脳であいつをぶっ殺すか。
do you have the wits is the question. I think even drunk, he might have more wits than these two.
逆に負けた方がむずいんじゃねえか？
I don't know.
この血の匂いは。
Look at them dressed up in the glasses. They're dressed like nerds. I love it.
死だ。
超インテリ作戦開始じゃ。
Cerebral warfare begin. Oh, these two, they're so funny. Oh,
待ち伏せしてやがって。今度は俺が狩られる側。
oh, he's quick though. Oh!
今までで一番良かったぞ。追い詰められた獲物は頭を使うもんだな。
It's showing that they're trying to improve though. It's better than last
今
time.
回の敗因は2つ。
Oh,
パワー
Christ.
は今の戦い方だと血を使いすぎて本体が貧血になることと、デンジが俺の攻撃を予測できなかったところだ。
パワーか。もう終わりだって。
キーじゃ。
I love that he calls her Powie. Whoa!
はい？
Expect the
獣
unexpected.
が狩人の言葉を信用するな。
Don't let your guard down. Fucking hell. Oh, that's so funny.
強い悪魔と契約してもらうっちゅうことは結構むごい契約内容になると思いますけど、
What does Aki have to offer, though? If he makes a deal with a stronger devil, can they rewrite his
ここ
old...
には公安が生け捕りにした悪
No, probably not. I was going to say, could they give back some of his life that he's sacrificed? But I imagine that would go against the other devil and create friction. It's also the price he had to pay to use their
関
powers,
係
so
ないです
probably
けど、
not.
昨日の美人、彼女さんですか？
Who was that
バディ
lady?
の妹の方です。
Himeno's
あら
sister.
ら、じゃあ殴られました？
手紙をもらいました。
From Himeno.
手紙？
So many letters.
それは私宛てに姉から送られてきた手紙です。あなたが読むべきなのでお渡しします。
She really wanted to keep him safe. She tried.
この部屋にいる悪魔とアキ君は契約してもらいます。いるんは未来の悪魔。公安でこいつと契約している人は2人。
Is one of
一
them
人は
Makima?
寿命半分。もう一人は両目と味覚。
Okay,
嗅
not
覚を差し出
Makima.
しています。気に入られれば安く済みますよ。
That's presuming Makima even has a contract with Devil and isn't just a devil herself. What if the future devil was Makima? That would be funny. Ooh, that's creepy. I don't like it. How many dogs? Denji, if he had his own way, he'd have loads of dogs, but he is also a dog. Or he's treated like a dog. Hence why he had the collar. They're also showing Makima and then his first master, the Yakuza boss. And Denji being surrounded by dogs is because that's how he is referred to. And the way that his life situation has changed, but he's still treated as a dog nonetheless. I mean, that's my favorite outro. I just like a lot of the symbolism in that one where Denji's wearing the collar, but Denji's also surrounded by dogs because he's seen as a dog. But he also likes dogs, hence why I made the comment of if Denji had his own way, he would probably just have loads of dogs, like Power and her love of cats. But the way in which we see the Yakuza boss and also Makima, but the way that his food transitions from being like literal garbage to being, you know, artfully laid out with flowers and clean cutlery shows that even though his situation in life has changed, he's still seen as a dog. He still doesn't really have the freedom that most people long for. He is very much kept on a leash for his masters, which was the Yakuza boss and is now Makima. He's just passed from one owner to another, and regardless of how lavish the life is now, is no different from the life he had before. Because he's still being ordered around, he's still being treated as if he is no better than an animal to be put to use for the wishes and desires of the master. Denji has no freedom and control. And I took the aspect of him like screaming and running away is sort of this understanding that he longs for something more but can't ever truly achieve it whilst he's caged and trapped in this environment. But I really like the song, and the art direction was really fascinating, but again, just there was a lot of symbolism. That was a fun episode. I loved the fact that they're acknowledging Denji's limitations and are doing whatever they can to overcome it by essentially having one of the strongest devil hunters hunt them, because it sharpens them. They have to think of new tactics, new strategies. And that's what they're trying to make them understand, is that they can't just rely on pure strength and brawn to get them through a situation. They have to be tactical. They have to adapt to the situation. And he's not just doing it to be mean. He's not just doing it to treat them like toys that don't break, because he's always wanted toys that wouldn't break. The fact that he actually tells them where they went wrong is him genuinely trying to get them to improve. I mean, he praises them when they do well, and he scolds them when they do something wrong. It's a learning lesson, you know? He told them that this was better than last time, that they were thinking more about the situation. They put some tactics into use that they had never done before, and he admired them for that, but then also condemned them for using too much blood because it left Power weak and unable to actually help Denji. And Denji too easily trusted what was said to him, which again is an indication that he might trust the wrong people in the future that could turn around and betray him. And I feel like that could be potentially foreshadowing a betrayal from Makima, just because Makima is the one that's like grooming him to become this weapon against the Gun Devil. Makima is also only interested in Denji, in that she only intervened to help when Denji was close to being kidnapped. So she didn't really care about anyone else. It was only about Denji in that moment. So I think the fact that Denji trusts her implicitly and does a lot of this because he wants to please her could be a recipe for disaster, in that I don't think Makima is human. And the way in which the teacher guy said, don't trust everything the hunter says to you, makes me think that that could foreshadow what happens with Denji in the future, that Denji might be betrayed by Makima, because Makima is very much trusted by Denji. He does believe everything she says to him, and he latches on to everything she says as if it is going to happen. And that in itself puts Denji into these dangerous situations to begin with. So I think it's a vital lesson that Denji might not learn until it's too late, or this lesson might make Denji realize perhaps that Makima maybe can't be trusted to the extent that he's trusting her. But I don't know, it just feels kind of a bit like foreshadowing, a bit like be careful of who you trust, be careful of who you believe. And so far, the person that Denji believes the most is Makima, and we know that Makima is quite crafty and she likes to scheme. And then now Aki is being forced to make a deal with the future devil, because everything he's going up against would require a contract with a much stronger devil, especially now the Fox Devil has decided that it's not going to answer Aki because it's pissed off with him. Maybe it will answer him again in future, but as of right now, she's angry. But I'm worried what this future devil is going to want from Aki, because technically Aki doesn't have much of a future if Aki only has like 2 years. Unless the future devil can see what Aki is going to accomplish in 2 years, that they feel like it's a worthy venture. I'm not sure. I don't know what the future devil can actually do. I'm just presuming that they can see into the future. But with him only having 2 years, it's a bit of a shit situation, especially because this devil is going to ask for something in turn, but we don't know what. Unless it does the whole plot twist that this devil doesn't ask for anything because it deems Aki worthy, but then it wouldn't be a mutual benefit. We'll have to see, but I love that we had reference to Himeno and her previous partners and their relatives mistreating her, blaming her for surviving, and she just put up with it. So it was nice to see that her sister doesn't blame Aki. Her sister comes to Aki, brings the letters so that he knew just how deeply Himeno cared about him, that she would write home about him often. But you could even see it here that the guy said to Aki, oh, does she come to like berate you? Because they're so used to it. This is so normal for relatives or loved ones to condemn those that have survived when their loved one has perished. And you can understand the pain, but at the same time, blaming someone else for surviving is just cruel because they're already dealing with the guilt that comes with that. They don't need any more emotional burden placed on them. So I'm glad that we saw Himeno's sister very much subscribes to a similar idea that it's not Aki's fault, and she wanted to bring Aki comfort, knowing that Himeno wanted to protect him and would have done anything to protect him. So that brings him some solace in knowing that she did what she did for him. I think he always knew deep down, but to see it in Himeno's words is more impactful. Denji and Power together are just hilarious. They're just big, overgrown toddlers, but also the fact that Denji's like, I want my manga, but he's crying. And then also the way in which they're talking about putting their brains together and how if they put their brains together, he can't possibly beat them because they'd be so smart. I was like, absolutely fucking not. You just know that the two of them, they share a brain cell. I don't think they have more than one brain cell. It just bounces back between the both of them. So the idea that somehow they were going to overcome this really strong devil hunter overnight was hilarious, but they are learning and they are growing, so this is all very beneficial for them, and we'll see in the future how this goes. Until then, if you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm, and until next episode, bye!